been here before. This happy ever after, knocking on a door, no one ever answers. Every stranger smile I carry in my mind's eye everywhere I go. Headlong into mystery, following my history.
Hello everyone, this is Holly and Glenn, and this is Van Build episode number 2. We just got back from a birthday Christmas trip. We were gone about a week, and this was the very first trip that we had in our van. It was so lovely. It was very cozy. It was very warm. Some of my favorite things about camping in this van is that it's so well ventilated. I thought I would be cold, and actually it was just really warm. Sometimes I said, can we open the door? So it was very well ventilated. I loved that. I love the lighting. We have lights in the ceiling. We have LED lights. It's very lights in every single cabinet. So it was just very bright. And I love that. I love that we had our own shower, which was amazing. Our own toilet, our own TV and kitchen. So it was definitely a wonderful first trip, and I cannot wait to go on our next adventure. I am going to hand this over to Glenn so he can give you some specifics about all the items in the van.
All right, everybody. Like Holly said, welcome to Van Build Part 2. This is the complete version of what I have for right now. I plan on doing some more stuff like on the roof with a roof rack, but for right now this works for us, and I'm going to give you a van tour. So I'm going to start from the front and we're going to head to the back. I'm going to talk about all the little details that made this van very, very comfortable, cozy, and amazing for our first trip on the road. 1 week on the road, and it was, oh my gosh, it was amazing. So let's head on in. And like I said, we're going to start at the front. So right here, I have a 2,500 watt inverter. This inverter is not a pure sine wave inverter, and I use it to run tools, and it runs to the back in the garage, which I'll show you guys later. In front of the inverter, I have a DC to DC charger, and right now that is the primary means of charging the battery on the DC to DC charger, charging our LiFePO 4 battery, 200 amp hour. Okay, moving on, we have a shower, a full size shower here, and right now I have the head on the ground, but this is a nice shower. I've got 4-gallon water heater in the back, so it's not a very long shower, but it is RV van life, so you got to take a quick shower. Holly learned that on the trip. It's a total of about 4 minutes of hot water. We timed it. So this is our shower, and Holly picked out this nice little shower curtain here. We have a hanging storage bin right here for soap and, you know, everything that you need to take a shower. So that is our shower. It worked out nice even when it was cold outside. All right, moving forward on this side of the van, we do have a closet where we hang our coats and our clothes that we don't want to get wrinkled. Up here is storage for towels, washcloths, wash rags, and shoes. So this turned out very nice, very convenient when it was cold outside to just grab a jacket and head on outside. Towels and everything. Per request of Holly, we have mirrors on both sides on the inside of the closet, so that's how Holly gets ready. All right, so moving along down here, of course, we've got the toilet. This thing turned out to be very, very nice. The Thetford cassette toilet. We didn't smell a thing the entire time. I promise you, didn't smell a thing the entire time. Very, very convenient. A lot of people said, well, why didn't you build the toilet into the shower? Well, my answer to that is Holly absolutely did not want the toilet in the shower, so we put it here. All right, that stows away. It's held in place by magnets, and we just have to move the rug every time we do that, but that's fine. All right, here we have a bench seat, okay, and under the bench seat there's storage. We have, this is where I put the coffee pot, my cold weather gloves, and my laptop, and back under there is where we store various essentials like toilet paper, the chemicals that go in the toilet, and some propane tanks. And back under there is also the battery. All right, here's the control panel. These are the controls for how I can tell how many amp hours I've used, how much running time I've got on the battery. Also right here is a dimmer switch for the LEDs that we have for lights, the water pump, and both our fans, and also the heater. How I access all of this stuff is the inverter and all the electronics. The bed frame comes up like this, and then I can sit down here, and let's say we're plugged up to shore power. I can take the plug from the inverter and plug it into our shore power plug here. I can also, when I'm plugged up to shore power, I can also charge the lithium battery with the battery charger that I have stored back here. So this is all of our electronic equipment, the electronic behind the scenes for the electronic equipment. Okay, now this just pops up and goes back down into place. Here we have a TV. We have lots and lots of pillows and lounging space. One thing for our max air fan that I thought would be necessary, especially in cold weather, I bought this, I think it's 14 by 14 insulation pad that goes right up into the hole for the max air fan. And that is essential because also for insulation, but also in the morning, if you don't want to wake up when the sun comes out, you can just stick this up there and it is a sun blocker, a light blocker. Okay, the max air fan, we've got it on a remote control, and that you just press power, comes on. You can have the vent open or closed. When it's closed, it's a fan. When it's open, you can make the air go in or out and increase the speed of the fan, and it tells you the current room temperature. All right, so one thing I will tell you with the max air fan, what I decided to do, because we'd be cooking here, taking showers. All right, I have the max air fan, and whenever, if we want to get maximum ventilation in the van, I will bring air in. So I'm going to change that to air in. And then I have another fan, a round fan right here that is an exhaust fan. You push that up, okay, and turn that on. And now we have air coming in and air going out at all times, creating a nice flow of air, especially when you're cooking or when you're taking a shower. All right, moving to the back, I've got a honeycomb sound deadening material on the back wall with our Chinese diesel heater controller. That diesel heater was amazing during this trip because it provided all the heat that we needed to stay warm throughout the night. Very quiet, very warm. Okay, so moving over, we have our Ikea shelves that I custom fit. And the first one is our kitchen pantry. We have a rice cooker, soup, coffee pot. This light from Ikea doesn't work as advertised. One of them didn't work, so it's supposed to be an automatic thing when you open that, but this one we got to turn on. Maybe I'll take that back. We got rice, all kinds of just various things to help us with our kitchen pantry there. All right, the second one was for Holly's. That one doesn't work either right now. I'm not sure why, but the second one was for Holly's clothes, and the third one was for my clothes. So that worked out nice. All right, moving on. All right, so there is some wasted space under the bed, which in the future I think I'm going to put a door at the back, but we decided to utilize the space under this side of the bed with a clothes hamper. So all our dirty clothes just goes right there. Very convenient under the bed. So you throw your dirty clothes in there and then close the bed. Under here, I have a row of LED lights, and those are very, very cool. They are from a place called Lighting Trends, 12 volt LED strip, and check out what this thing does. I can change the modes, and has all kinds of cool different designs. Of course, you can, I think one of my favorites is this one right here. You can adjust the speed, make it speed up, slow down, and of course you can always go back to white. You can do red, green, or blue solid colors. It's very bright at night. So I really enjoy this. It's called Flow Series LED strip from Lighting Trends. It's made really to go under a car, but I mean inside the RV, inside the van, it looks pretty cool. All right, so with that said, I'm gonna come down here and we have our nightstand, which utilizes the top shelf we use for all our kitchen utensils, and then we have a storage bin for all of our remote controls. So this is remote controls for the Chinese diesel heater. I also put a remote control for the water heater. It's plugged into the inverter back there, but instead of unplugging and plugging it back in all the time, I got off Amazon a remote control plug, and so whenever I turn on the water heater, I can just use a remote control. Very, very convenient. Okay, various tools. All right, in the top drawer is basically for that and our kitchen utensils. The second drawer we use for bathroom tools, you know, toothbrush, toothpaste, all of Holly's stuff to get ready in the morning. So that's what we utilize the second drawer for. And the third drawer is for our pots and pans, and we also have an induction cooktop cooker in the bottom there. Fits just perfect in that drawer, and we can heat up water, make soup, all kinds of different stuff with that induction cooktop. I didn't want it to be permanently here, so we decided to have a portable one that goes in there. All right, talking about storage, this does pull out this whole thing, so I'm going to pull that out right now and I'll show you. I've got it on a pair of locking slides, so this will pull out. And right now what I have back there is a portable heater. So if we are hooked up to shore power and I don't want to use the diesel heater, I can take this out and we can use that as the heater. Otherwise, there's a lot of storage space under the bed for luggage and various things like that. It's kind of hard to see right now, but I put a shelf behind this nightstand to put things like this, for example, this heater, and then when you're done with that, you can push it back in. Before I push it back in though, I also want to say that this comes out, and I created it this way intentionally, so if you're cooking here, you can also prepare food on here, so it's just extra counter space. All right, when you're done with that, you have to lift this up to get it back in. And then it pushes back in, locks in place. Okay, so moving on over here, I do have a carbon monoxide detector. Okay, and we keep our Max Air fan in place with a simple magnet. All right, these magnets are amazing. I just got them off Amazon. I'll drop a link in the description below. They're super, super strong. So instead of having this thing locked in place all the time, I just put it on a magnet and it goes right there. Also, speaking of magnets, for our hand towel, we keep that in place with one of these strong magnets, and it stays in place there. Okay, over here, lots of counter space to make food, whatever you want, get ready in the morning. Right here is 2 USB chargers. And this is pretty cool. This device, got it off Amazon. This will pop up, lock in place, and we have 2 plugs. I plug the induction cooktop in there. When we're on shore power, I plug in the portable heater. All right, you push that in and that goes away. All right, so moving on, we have our sink. This came from Ikea. I wanted a nice big round sink, that way when I was washing dishes or whatever, getting ready in the morning, you got nice big area to clean everything. Okay, down here, this will also serve as a outdoor shower. I wanted it right here on purpose, just in case, you know, you wanted to take an outdoor shower, and there it is. I forgot to mention, under the bed, you can't see it, under the bed is the water heater, and we do have a 30-gallon freshwater tank under the bed. For the shower, there's a 25-gallon gray water tank that I installed right directly under the shower, under the frame of the Sprinter. Okay, moving on, right here we have a door that opens where we have our trash can. Okay, that's the trash can. And then right here we have an air fryer. This air fryer is amazing for cooking all kinds of different food. We love to cook chicken thighs in there. Really easy cleanup. This just comes right out and you can clean it up in this sink. So the air fryer is amazing. It's like having your own barbecue right inside the van. I forgot to mention our refrigerator. I went with kind of like a full-size refrigerator and a freezer. Works nice on the 200 amp hour battery for a couple days. Moving over here, one of the essential things for having a Sprinter van is, I think, storage above your head. So I went with this mesh storage system, and what I keep up here is window covers. All right, those fit right into the windows, perfectly fit for the Sprinter. And then another essential thing is this blackout curtain, which it has thermal protection. And I'll tell you what, when this thing is closed and it is cold outside and we have the heater on, you can put your hand up here and it is about, I would say, 20 or 30 degrees difference from this side to that side of the curtain. So I went ahead and put 2 of these blackout curtains with thermal protection and back to back, and I put them on a little track here that you can't even tell is there, and that worked out great for us.
Show them my favorite part, one of them, the backsplash.
Okay, yeah, so let me show you guys what this van looks like with the door closed. Alright, so the backsplash, it looks like beautiful tile, wonderful tile, but in all actuality it is stick-on tile from Amazon, but I think it looks great. I put some mirrors up here for Holly. I painted a little H and G for Holly and Glenn. But yeah, that looks really nice. I went all the way down the side over here, so you get a nice blue marbly effect with tile. And that is our backsplash for the kitchen. All right, if you'll follow me. Okay, so moving on to the outside, I opted to have a little curtain here. It's the same fabric that I used for our divider here, and that's because I wanted to be able to easily access what's behind this curtain. Okay, so I put it on a track and I can lift this up. We have a 6-gallon tank for the holding tank for the gray water from the kitchen sink, but I put a little trick in here. I added a valve at the bottom with a tube that goes straight out under the van. So if we are boondocking somewhere that doesn't matter, this gray water is going to go directly to the ground. If we're somewhere that you can't do that, I can shut the valve off, and there's 6 gallons here that will hold the gray water from the sink. What I had to do here, because this is so close to the air fryer, is I put a thermal protection on the tank so the hot air from the air fryer does not melt the plastic from here. And this is a little thin piece of thermal protection that works very, very well. Okay, as you can see here, also the curtain hides the tubes, the water lines, hot and cold, to the faucet. Now, one of my favorite parts of the van that I decided to build was a slide out here. All right, with my favorite propane cooktop that I've had for many, many years and has gone on many adventure all the way down to South America with me. So this pops up, and the great thing about having one of these, a pull-out, is that you can cook bacon in the morning, bacon and eggs, and you don't get that whole bacon smell inside the van. Love this. You can sit out here while Holly's hanging out inside, cook up some bacon and eggs, and you're ready to hit the road adventure for the day. So this just closes back up like that. Holly wants me to buy a new one, but I don't want a new one because this has been with me everywhere. It's got that character that you can't buy. So that pushes right back in there, and when you're done using all this stuff, you get the curtain so it looks nice, and you put that back. So that is the inside of the livable area of our van, and let's go to the front, or the garage. So back here, and everything here is still, I haven't unloaded the van, so this is everything that we brought on our 1 week long trip. Okay, so I opted for a cooler, thanks to my uncle for sending this to me for Christmas. It's a Cubix cooler, and this held a lot of stuff. It actually still has ice in it after 8 days. I have not changed anything in this cooler, and it still has ice after 8 days. This is my Paramotor Adventure Bag, so my helmet and everything for my Paramotor go in here. We brought 2 9-bot Segway Max scooters. These scooters are amazing. Here is my paraglider for my Paramotor that's kind of hidden. Oh, sorry, I hung my helmet up here. It should be in this bag. Right here we have some chairs, camping chairs. Over to the left side of the cooler, you will see our all-in-one diesel heater. So I opted to have the diesel heater in the back so that there's no gas smells. Up front, I've got a ladder, a light, a hose to refill our water. The shore power line is there, and the water refill is there. All right, moving on. I love this garage. This is one of the main parts of the van, because I needed to have a place to store my Paramotor and go on camping adventures and just be able to pull it on out and take off into the sky. Of course, here are some more of those magnets. These magnets are so strong and they are so handy. So if you don't have magnets in your van, I would suggest you get some. All right, the diesel heater, the exhaust comes out right here, and if you don't have a muffler for your diesel heater, I strongly suggest that you get one, because this thing is very, very quiet while it's running. So I mounted it there. It goes out the side. The intake is under the van. Moving on over here. The last and final piece of the van is, on the outside at least, is the 25-gallon gray water tank, and it is right here. You can barely see it. Actually, moving over here, I'm going to show you one last thing that I decided to do. A lot of people, they have their DC to DC charger hooked up to some part of a fuse, so when they start the engine, the battery starts charging. Well, I decided I didn't want that to happen, because possibly the lithium battery might be too cold if it's below freezing to start right away charging. So I opted to put the DC to DC charger on a little switch, so when I want to, right in close access to my hand, so when I want to start charging the battery, I can flip that on. When I'm done charging, I flip it off. All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this van tour of our luxury van build episode 2, the complete version. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope maybe you saw something that inspires you that you want to do. Maybe one day you want to build a van, or you want to incorporate it into your van build. I had no idea what I was doing when I started, but I'm so glad that I did it, because the freedom that it gave us on this adventure was just amazing. Flying and exploring Tennessee, Virginia, it was just incredible. And I know I had to do a good job, because Holly would not have come with me if I didn't.
And now I cannot wait for our next adventure. It was very comfortable and I enjoyed every second of it. Good job.
Thank you. We hope that you come with us on our next adventure, and hopefully we'll document it for you and be coming out with more van life adventures in the future. And now I am going to cut to one of my favorite parts of the trip for you to enjoy: a surprise engagement. She said yes.
That's why I can't stop smiling.
So Holly, look, you see the star? So just as the planets align, so do our hearts. Will you?
What? Is this what? Oh
Yes.
my God, really?
Yes. Will you marry me? Will you? Huh?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yes?
Yes.
It's a yes!
Is this a dream? I love you. Is this a dream?
She said yes.